to a lot of youth in different cities that you stopped at. What's your take, because I think you've been early on this, on, 21 Savage had the streets movement that he kind of has been promoting these last.
21 Savage just snapped after getting called out by the great Slime himself. And trust me, this wild back and forth ain't cooling down anytime soon. Things are heating up fast, and we're about to break down how this beef spiraled into something way deeper than it first looked. Bodies might start dropping if this keeps going. So what really sparked all this chaos? Let's rewind for a second, because this story got layers on layers. See, 21 Savage been on his whole forget the streets movement for a while now. He's been pulling up to different cities, talking to the youth, telling them to drop the gang life and chase something better. On the surface, that sounds solid. He's out here trying to save lives and shift mindsets. Nobody can really hate on that, right? But here's where things get complicated. When you're from where 21 is from, East Atlanta, Zone 6, the real trenches, and you start preaching about leaving the streets behind, some people start side-eyeing that message. They like, who made you the boss to tell the next man how to live his life? And let's keep it real. 21 did live that life. That's no exaggeration. On his 21st birthday, he got caught lacking, took 6 shots, and his close homie didn't make it. That's where the name 21 Savage came from. It's not just a catchy stage name, it's a memorial, a constant reminder of pain and survival. So when he talks about leaving the streets alone, he's speaking from the heart. He's seen too many funerals, lost too many real ones, and now he's trying to break that never-ending cycle. Let's dig a little deeper into where this mindset really started. Back in 2013, when 21 was still deep in the streets, tragedy hit. He lost his brother Quantaveus, also known as Tay-Man, to gun violence. Not long after, he lost his close friend Larry.
I don't give a fuck like that. I am the streets, I love the streets, I come from the streets.
These weren't just random people. They were his day ones, the ones who held him down when nobody else did. Losing that many people back to back can break anyone down. It'll change how you see the world. 21 has even admitted that in his early music. Tracks like No Heart and X, he glorified that street lifestyle. It was raw, unfiltered, and straight from the trenches. But as he got older, got money, and kept losing more people around him, his perspective shifted. He started realizing he had a voice and a responsibility, especially to the kids who idolize him. His whole forget the streets movement didn't just pop up overnight. It's been building for years, piece by piece. It really started taking off when he began giving back to his community in Atlanta. He launched the 21 Savage bank account campaign, teaching kids in the hood about financial literacy. Then came the Leading by Example Foundation, helping the youth in underserved neighborhoods learn better ways to make it out. But what really stirred the pot was when 21 started speaking up louder, doing interviews, hitting social media, and straight up saying what others were too scared to. He said stuff like, forget your set, forget your block, it don't matter in the bigger picture. That's a heavy statement coming from someone who used to live that life. Now, of course, that message hit different depending on where he said it. In Atlanta, folks respected it because they saw his growth firsthand. They knew he'd earned the right to talk about it. But when he started spreading that message in other cities, Chicago, Louisiana, California, things got tricky. Some OGs who had been through the same pain got it. They knew he was trying to wake people up before they ended up in a cell or a grave. But the younger crowd, the ones still knee-deep in the game, they didn't like it one bit. They felt like he was disrespecting their grind, like he was saying their struggle didn't count. And that right there is where the tension started to boil.
Stop saying my motherfucking name. Don't think cause a nigga trying to change that, man. Y'all niggas sit down.
You started feeling like 21 was saying their lives didn't matter, or like what they were going through wasn't real. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, YB and 21 actually had history before all this. They were cool ones, showing mutual respect and love for each other's music. Back in 2019 and 2020, you could even catch them hyping each other up on social media. No beef, no shade, just two top-tier rappers doing their thing with respect between them. But things started shifting when the whole Lil Durk and YB situation started exploding. 21 was spotted standing more on Durk's side, and that move alone created quiet tension behind the scenes, even if they weren't directly throwing shots at each other yet. Let's break that down, because that part really matters in this story. The Durk and YB beef is no small-time rap drama. It's one of the deadliest rivalries in hip-hop history. This ain't just about diss tracks or bars. Real people lost their lives. When King Von got killed in Atlanta, everything escalated instantly. Now, since 21 is from Atlanta and had ties with Dirk, that put him in a tight spot. He never openly dissed YB or said anything wild, but fans noticed him standing with Dirk at certain events or liking specific posts that showed support. Even if he didn't mean it like that, it came across like he'd picked a side. And in this world, that matters. So that tension was already simmering beneath the surface. Then comes 21 with his whole forget the streets movement, talking about letting go of street life and changing the cycle. But to someone like YB, who's still living that reality day in, day out, that message felt like a slap in the face. From his perspective, it was like you were just aligned with people from a street beef. Now you preaching about walking away from it. That's where things started getting messy. Now, to really get what's going on, we got to understand where YB's coming from. The man's only 25, but he's been through more chaos than most see in a lifetime. He's been shot at, stabbed, arrested over and over, lost people he grew up with, and he's still dealing with open cases and street threats. For him, the streets ain't just a phase, it's survival. He can't just cut ties and move on even if he wanted to. He's still got loyalty to his people, who are still out there fighting their own battles. So when someone like 21, who's already made it out, says forget the streets, YB hears that as disrespectful. It sounds like easy for you to say. You're rich, safe, and far removed from what I'm still facing.
Rapper King Von and his group were at Opium nightclub before making their way here to Monaco Hookah Lounge, then to the parking lot where chaos ensued.
And one thing about YB, he's never been the type to tone things down or sugarcoat how he feels. That's part of why his fans ride for him so hard. He's raw, unfiltered, and stands on everything he says, no matter who it offends. So fast forward to this recent interview where YB got asked about 21's Forget the Streets campaign. You could already tell the tension was boiling under the surface. The interviewer tried to play it casual, bringing up how 21's been preaching positivity and trying to reach the youth. But YB, he wasn't holding nothing back. He cut straight to it. I don't care about that. Then he went all in. I am the streets. I love the streets. I come from the streets. I ain't on all that soft talk. When that clip dropped, it sent shockwaves. That wasn't just a disagreement. That was a direct shot at 21's movement and reputation. YB basically dismissed the entire campaign as fake and weak. That hit deep because 21 built that whole message around growth, pain, and loss. And YB just threw it right back in his face. But YB didn't stop there. He kept going, talking about how people were twisting the meaning of what 21 was saying. He said it's not about ignoring danger or refusing to defend yourself, but at the same time, he made it crystal clear he wasn't riding with what 21 was promoting. Then came the line that really lit the internet on fire. YB said, "That's the narrative somebody pushing right now, and I'm pushing my narrative." That single sentence changed everything. When he said my narrative with that kind of energy, everyone knew this wasn't just some rap opinion. This was a declaration. It was him planting his flag in the ground and saying, I don't care what 21's talking about. I'm standing on my own truth. That's when it became obvious. This wasn't a misunderstanding anymore. This was personal, and both sides were ready to stand on business. When that interview dropped, the internet exploded. Fans were instantly splitting into sides like it was a championship game. Some were shouting, YB speaking facts, you can't tell folks how to live their life, while others stood behind 21 saying, he's trying to save lives, what's wrong with that? Twitter turned into a full-blown war zone overnight. YB fans started dragging 21, calling him fake woke, and saying he was only doing this positivity stuff for image. Meanwhile, 21 supporters clapped back hard, accusing YB of pushing negativity and glorifying violence. It got toxic fast. Arguments, memes, shade, the internet was on fire. But what really turned things up was the timing. Just when people thought the mess had peaked, 21 Savage came out with his response of his own, and that's when everything started spiraling for real. Now let me set the scene. 21 hopped on social media looking heated. You could see the frustration all over his face. The man was tired of his name getting thrown around. He started talking about people dragging his name and twisting what he stands for, especially when it came to the streets. Now, technically, he was responding to Fabio Foreign, who'd recently taken a few shots at him, questioning his street credibility. But with that interview from YB still fresh in everyone's minds, fans immediately started connecting the dots. It was way too close in timing to feel like a coincidence. Fabio had said some slick things before, claiming 21 wasn't really street like that, but that was light compared to YB's words. So when 21 jumped online and started venting, people knew he was addressing more than one person, even if he didn't say it outright. He started off strong. "Stop saying my name. Don't think because a man's trying to change that I won't say something. Sit down somewhere, man. Straight up." You could hear the frustration in his tone. That's someone who's been trying to grow, trying to do good, but keeps getting dragged back into drama. Then he really started turning up. "Y'all walking around with a .38 don't say nothing to me about the streets. If you 35 or older and been trying to rap since you was a teenager, don't talk to me about the streets." Now that could have been aimed at Fabio, sure, but what came next made everyone's ears perk up for real. He said, "Y'all keep talking all this fake street talk. Savage this, Savage that. Savage shot one of y'all in real life. Y'all know this. Stop playing." Boom! The whole internet froze after that. That was 21 reminding everybody not to get it twisted. Just because he's focused on growth now doesn't mean he forgot who he is or what he's done. He's been through it, lived it, and survived it. Then he went even harder. Don't think because Savage on some positive stuff that it's, "Oh, let's talk about Savage every day." Nah, this ain't that. Y'all still can get checked, straight up. That right there was a direct warning. He's saying, don't let this new mindset fool you. Just because he's promoting peace doesn't mean he's soft. And if anyone keeps poking, there will be consequences. But here's the part that really hit deep. 21 started explaining why he feels the way he does, and in doing that, he exposed something real about the industry. He said, "Y'all ain't seen enough in the streets to even feel how I feel about the streets. I don't care what your partners did. I don't care what your hood did. I'm talking to y'all, you as individuals. Y'all ain't did nothing in the streets." That hit hard. Because what 21 was basically saying is, a lot of these rappers talking about street life ain't really lived it. They might have grown up around it, maybe knew some real ones, but they weren't in it like that. They didn't see what he's seen or feel what he's felt. And that's exactly why they can't understand his message.
This was the key moment that a lot of people missed online. There's a huge difference between being from the streets and being in the streets. One means you were surrounded by it. The other means you had no choice but to survive in it. And that's what 21 was calling out, the fake narratives, the ones talking tough about the life but never had to actually live that pain. He kept going. "Y'all ain't cried enough. Y'all ain't lost enough." Straight up, you could feel that pain in every word. That wasn't just some tough talk. That was a man who's had to bury friends, family, people he loved, standing up and saying, "Don't question what I'm doing unless you've lived what I lived." That whole rant was more than just a response. It was 21 laying out the truth, loud and clear. He wasn't just defending himself, he was drawing a line between those who talk about the streets and those who've actually survived them. Then 21 hit everyone with a cold reality check. He said, "Y'all better stick to rapping, man." Basically, he was telling them, stay in your lane. He was making it clear, some of these rappers ain't built for the kind of conversation they trying to have with him. They need to just focus on music, because when it comes to real street politics, real pain, and the cost that comes with that life, they're not qualified to even speak on it. But things got even crazier after that. 21 started calling out people who claim to be street but ain't been seen in decades. He said, "Y'all be gangsters on Area 59, meaning they doing all that tough talk from behind screens, from safe, remote spots where nothing's happening for real. Remote location dudes, ain't seen y'all in 30 years, he said, and the internet lost it." That was 21 clowning the internet gangsters, the ones who act tough online but don't step outside no more. They're the ones typing threats from a couch, trying to keep an image alive that doesn't exist in real life. Then he got serious again, hitting a nerve that runs deep in the culture. How can you tell somebody from another state what they are? You don't even know him. That line hit hard because what he's really touching on is something that's been a part of hip-hop for decades. People from one city trying to tell another city how to move, and it never goes right. 21 is from Atlanta. YB is from Baton Rouge. Those are two completely different worlds, different codes, different rules, different types of danger. But at the end of the day, pain is pain, loss is loss, and violence feels the same everywhere. That's universal. So 21's argument is simple. His message ain't about regions. It's about saving lives no matter where you're from. Now here's where you gotta zoom out and look at the bigger picture. This whole beef isn't just about two rappers throwing shots. It's about something way deeper. The struggle between keeping it real and growing as a person. That's one of hip-hop's oldest battles. For years, rap has treated keeping it real like the golden rule. Being authentic, being you, that's what earns respect. So when someone like 21, who built his whole image on being one of the realest in the game, starts promoting peace and positivity, people get confused. It clashes with the version of him they've always known. They start asking questions like, is he still real or is this just PR? Some call him a hypocrite. Others say he's just evolving. And that's the tension. Fans don't always know how to accept growth when it comes from someone who was once all about the streets. On the flip side, you got artists like YB who refuse to change their message, who stay raw, aggressive, and honest about where they come from. No filters, no softening up for the industry. And people respect that too because it feels authentic, even when it's chaotic. That's the beauty and the curse of hip-hop. Authenticity comes in different forms. Now, let's face the big question. Is 21 Savage a hypocrite? Some people swear he is. They point out that he still raps about violence sometimes, still associates with folks who are active in the streets, and that he once chose a side in the Dirk versus YB situation, which, let's be real, is rooted in street conflict. So how can he now turn around and say, forget the streets? But 21 already addressed that straight up. He said, I'm trying to change my life. I'm trying to save the streets. I'm trying to stop all this crazy stuff going on. It's unnecessary. I'm trying to be part of the solution. And that word trying is everything. He's not claiming to be perfect or acting like he's fully left that world behind. He's saying he's working on it. He's trying to be better. Real change don't happen overnight, and that's just facts. But not everyone wants to hear that. Some people want things black and white. Either you street or you're not. They don't like that gray area where a person's trying to transition out but still fighting their environment. They want a clean break, no middle ground. Here's what's wild though. While fans argue online about who's right or who's wrong, and while 21 and YB go back and forth with their statements, real life keeps moving. Kids in the hood still losing their lives every single day. The same problems they're debating about on social media are still happening in real time. And that's what 21's message was really about all along. Whether you like his approach or not, his goal is bigger than rap beef. He's talking about saving lives. He's trying to wake up young people before they end up in a system that doesn't care about them, a system that traps them between violence, incarceration, and death. So when 21 says forget the streets, he's not saying forget your roots. He's saying forget the cycle that keeps killing us. He's rejecting the system that feeds young black and brown kids into endless pain. And that's something way bigger than hip-hop, because at the end of the day, this ain't just about who's real or who's soft. It's about who's trying to break the curse. But here's the thing. YB and people like him actually got a point too. It's real easy to say forget the streets once you already made it out. When you got millions in the bank, a mansion in the hills, and your family living somewhere safe behind gates, that's a whole different reality. When you got private security, investments, and options, of course you can talk about leaving the streets. But what about the ones still stuck there? What about the kids who wake up to sirens, who gotta walk past gang corners just to make it to school? What about the people who can't afford to move out even if they want to? For them, the streets ain't a lifestyle, it's survival. That's what YB means when he says, I am the streets, I love the streets. He's not saying he loves the violence or the chaos. He's saying he loves where he comes from. He loves his community, his people who are still there fighting to make it through. And he refuses to act like he's better than them just because fame and money changed his situation. That's the heart of this whole thing.
Both of these men are talking from real pain, just from different places. The frustrating part is there could be middle ground here. Both sides have valid points, but neither seems ready to meet in the middle. 21 could admit that his message sometimes sounds preachy, that when you're speaking from safety to people still in the struggle, it can feel like you're talking down to them. But at the same time, his mission to stop violence is important and necessary. He's not trying to shame people, he's trying to save them. On the flip side, YB could recognize that while it's good to stand proud of where he's from, that same pride can't justify a cycle that keeps destroying lives. He could acknowledge that there's power in trying to break that curse, that strength ain't just about surviving the streets, it's about helping others escape them too. But right now, in this social media era, where everyone's forced to pick a side, that nuance gets lost fast. Everything's black and white, no space for gray areas, no space for understanding both truths at once. The internet turns real conversations into team battles, and the deeper message gets drowned out in the noise. So where do things even go from here? At this point, we're in a holding pattern. 21 said his piece, YB said his piece, and now everyone's just watching, waiting to see if this thing fades out or gets worse.
The scary part? In hip-hop, we've seen this movie before. Too many times, words turned into real-life consequences. A simple lyrical disagreement turns into a street-level situation, and suddenly what started as a message to stop violence ends up causing more of it. The irony would be tragic. A beef born from trying to save lives turning into another loss. But there's still hope this doesn't go that route. Both of them are too big, too successful, and got way too much to lose to let this spiral. They're leaders in the game now, and whether they like it or not, every move they make sends a message to millions. The truth is, hip-hop needs both perspectives. We need people like 21 Savage, the ones willing to stand up, speak out, and say, we gotta do better. But we also need artists like YoungBoy, the ones who remind the world that the struggle is still happening, that not everyone's made it out yet. Because when both sides are honest, that's when real progress starts. Hip-hop has always been about truth, and maybe, just maybe, both these voices can help the culture find its balance again. The real problem comes when these different perspectives turn into opposition instead of balance, when they clash instead of completing each other. That's the sad truth about hip-hop right now. We've reached a point where even saying stop the violence somehow sparks a debate. That's how deep this street mentality runs. But one thing's for sure, 21 Savage stood firm on what he said. He made it clear he's not backing down, no matter who's got a problem with his message. He's staying true to his mission, to speak life, to break the cycle, and to give young people another path. At the same time, YoungBoy made it just as clear. He's not changing for anybody. He's standing tall on his truth, representing the streets and the pain that comes with them. He's saying, this is who I am, this is where I come from, and I'm not gonna fake it. Now the big question, where does it go from here? Will this tension keep building until something major happens? Or will both sides find a way to coexist? Maybe they'll realize they're just speaking from different sides of the same story. Because at the end of the day, both of them are telling their truth. 21 is speaking as someone who made it out, someone who's seen too much, lost too much, and doesn't want others to repeat that same pain. YoungBoy is speaking as someone who's still in it, still navigating that same chaos every single day, trying to protect his people and keep his identity intact. Maybe instead of arguing about who's right, the real question should be, how do we take the best from both sides? How do we honor where we come from and aim for something better? Because truthfully, there's wisdom in both perspectives. 21's push for peace and YoungBoy's loyalty to his roots both come from a place of survival and pride. So let's flip the narrative. Instead of letting these philosophies turn into another beef, maybe this is a chance for hip-hop to grow. Maybe it's time for the culture to stop picking sides and start building bridges between the ones who made it out and the ones still fighting to make it out. Now I gotta ask, what do you think?